It's finally here. So finally I'm getting to jump onto the M5 bandwagon and I'm going to be building a brand new PC and I'm proper excited about this one. Right, so just about an hour ago I got delivery of my brand new Aorus X870E Pro Ice motherboard. I've got a few other parts as well as part of my build. I'll just kind of show you quickly. So again, earlier on they got delivered some brand new white sleeved extension kits. They've actually got plastic connections at the top which are white rather than black, which I'm looking forward to using. And in this drawer I have the brand new AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D. Cannot wait to build this thing, I'm telling you, so excited. And just to pair with that, I've also got a set of DDR5 Crucial Pro 6400 mega transfers, 32 gig kit. That'll go into the new build as well. Everything else will be the same. Cooling, all the fans, the case, and the graphics card, which is a star cracking graphics card, will all be the same, but I'll now be on the M5 platform. Anyway, this video is more of it's just an overview of the motherboard. It's not a review as I've not built the bloody thing yet. Later on I'll do some videos showing you comparisons, some benchmarks between maybe 5 or 6 games I think I'll do, comparing it to my current system, which is the 15900X. But yeah, just an overview of the motherboard, unboxing, what's in the box, and I'll try and cover everything that's on the motherboard for you. So let's get right into it. Right, time to crack this bad boy open. See what we've got inside. Okay, right away we can see the motherboard, and in here, this cardboard bit, we have nothing. Chuck that to the side. And just get the motherboard out and have a look at that. We'll see what else is in the box. If I can get the thing out. Oh my god, this thing's heavy. What a weight. It's actually crazy how heavy this is compared to my old motherboard. Anyway, what else have we got in the box? So right away we can see a little kind of quick start installation guide if you need to use that. I'll show you how to connect things onto the motherboard, memory and so on, and coolers I'd imagine. A wee quick look. Yeah, basically a kind of quick start guide, how to put the processor in and so on. We've also got some stickers here if that's your thing. Pretty pink and blue stickers. We've also got a little document here which shows you the lineup of all the Aorus motherboards, or the Gigabyte motherboards for the AM5. Here we have a little microphone, and I'll talk about that later on. It's for basically monitoring the sound inside your case, and you can set the fans to adjust accordingly. Here we've got 2 SATA cables, which are nice, having them all white. Again, another nice touch. Those are for your 2.5 drives and your old spinning wrist drives. Here we've got a G connector, which helps you connect all your front panel connections into one simple plug to plug into your motherboard for ease. And here we've got a plectrum for your guitar. Just kidding on, it's just it's another sticker if you want to put it on your case. But yeah, you could use it as a plectrum, I suppose. And then finally we've got a Wi-Fi 7 antenna with the easy connector on it, and I'll show you how that works later on again as well. So that's the contents of the box. And then onto the motherboard itself. It's got its nice anti-static condom on. So let's get out of that. Honestly, I cannot believe the weight of this thing, it's so heavy. Just take the sellotape off the back and then we can start going over the ports and so on. But right away, just look at that. How beautiful is this motherboard? It's absolutely gorgeous. I love everything is white, all the connectors, everything is white. And that's what really made this motherboard appeal to me. So down here we've got the audio, which is the Realtek ALC 1220 HD audio. Down the bottom corner here we've got your audio front panel connector. You've got some ARGB connections here, 2 of those. And then we've got a 12 volt RGB connector also here. We've also got SPI TPM connections. I'm not entirely sure what they're for. Here we've got the connection for that little microphone I was talking about for sensing the fan noise inside. And then we've got two USB 2.0 headers here as well. Here we've got USB 3.2 connection, and then we've got 3 system fan connectors. And then finally in the bottom right corner here, we've got your front panel connections for your power button and so on. HD light, whatever. Now onto the other side, we've got another USB 3.2 header at a right angle. We've got 4 SATA connections at 6 gigabytes per second. We've got an HDMI port here, which is good if you've got an internal like sensor panel. Here we've got another fan or pump header, a USB Type-C 20 gigs per second header. Just behind that we've got another connection here, which is for your thermal probes, another pump or fan header, and then another thermal probe connection here as well. And then we've got your 24-pin power supply to the motherboard. We've got some debug LED lights here. And then we've got your postcode reader above that as well, and the LEDs and that are white, which is good. Just above that we've got another temperature sensor connection here, thermal connection, whatever you want to call that. And one more ARGB header here as well. And up the very top, we have a reset and a power button independent switches, which is nice to see. Then we've got another system fan header, a CPU fan header, and a CPU optional header for your AIO pump or whatever. And then lastly here we've got your 2 8-pin EPS power connections to supply all that juice to your brand new processor. And that is all the connections around about the board. Onto the rear I/O, have a closer look at that. So starting from the left hand side, we've got a Q flash button in the bottom corner here. Next to that we've got an HDMI connection, and above that we've got 2 USB 2.0 connections. We've got 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 connections. We've got dual USB 4 Type-C up to 40 gigabyte per second with DisplayPort. Above that, and just to the side of it, we've got 3 USB 3.2 Gen 2 connections, a 2.5 LAN connection, the Wi-Fi connection with the Gigabyte Easy plug. We've got a line out, microphone input, and SPDIF out connection at the bottom right here. Now onto some of the other nice features. So under this thermal heatsink here for the M.2, we've got this easy latch system, and underneath you can see there's some protective film on the thermal pads, so just make sure you remove those before installing your M.2 drive. And again, this easy latch system, just a case of pushing it to the side and it lifts right out. Again, we've got protective film on the thermal pads, so just, as I say, is make sure you remove those before installing any of your drives. So Gigabyte have been good enough to actually label which 3 are the Gen 5 slots. This one closest to the processor being Gen 5, and these other 2 also Gen 5, and the one in the middle is Gen 4. Just to point out, if you happen to populate anything in the other 2 Gen 5 slots, it will reduce this PCI 5x16 slot to PCI 5x8. Just to let you know, it will reduce the bandwidth. So for me to avoid that, instead of using the other Gen 5 slots, I'll use the Gen 4 slot and let the onboard chipset do the work. Another thing to point out is the mounting holes in this motherboard. Typical layout of all the holes, but you will notice that this one here is actually covered by the heatsink for the top the M.2 slot. Just be aware of that, that is actually hiding under there. But this easy latch system is so good. Just a case of popping this back in, pushing it down, and it clips back in. Fantastic. Right, now onto the PCI slots. We've got PCI 5x16 up the top here, and then we've got a PCI 4x4 slot, and below that a PCI 3x4 slot again. And up here we've got another one of their great toolless features, and this is the PCIe Easy Latch Plus system. So it's just a case of pressing this button and it will release your graphics card. So if you try to squeeze your fingers in there, which can be quite tight. And then onto the DIMM sockets, we have 4 of those, which can take up to 256 gig of DDR5 up to 8200 mega transfers. Motherboard comes with a digital twin 16x2x2 phase VRM solution, which this massive heatsink sits on top of. But the heatsink's got some nice touches here with the little griffin at the bottom corner. We've got the griffin over here on the chipset heatsink. Nice Aorus writing here, which is RGB, and we've got RGB again around the heatsink for the chipset. It's all brushed metal as well. It's lovely, beautiful thing. And here's a close-up of that Easy Latch system in action. And the same again actually applies to the actual M.2 drives themselves for the NVMe drives. It has the same little feature on it for installing those. And finally, the Wi-Fi 7 antenna. It's just a simple connector that you push in, clips into place, and that's it. So well done to Gigabyte for thinking of people with fat thumbs and fat fingers actually trying to get in here. So it is a really welcome addition. So thanks again to Gigabyte for this. Right, and that was the unboxing of my brand new motherboard. Now, I've probably missed a few bits and bobs out. There's quite a lot to kind of cover in the motherboard, but I hope I've got all the kind of main things. But anyway, if you've got any questions or whatever, as always, please leave those down below in the comments. I'll leave a link up for this motherboard. It's sold out everywhere. I managed to get it on Amazon, and I think there was only 8 left. But all my usual go-to places were totally sold out. I put reminders on asking for them to come back in stock, but I couldn't wait. Just went and got it from Amazon. But yeah, so I'll leave a link for that down below again as well, which will be an affiliate link. But hope you enjoyed this. Again, any questions, whatever, any comments, please leave them down below. And I'm hoping I'll be back soon with this all built and a couple of benchmarks for you. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon.